So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Good evening.
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm we don't have the captions up underneath, but I'm on location again tonight. But rest assured that I won't be accosted by anybody again tonight, and I certainly don't have to run for a bus. So things are going to be a lot less frantic as they were on the team sheet tantrum for Newcastle game. And Paddy, we haven't even done a post match for the Newcastle game, and to be honest with you, we should have, because it was a fantastic game. It was a really, really interesting game. It was a really, really, really fast-paced game, and it was, it was like for the first proper game of preseason. If that's a precursor of what's to come, count me in, because it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Can you imagine a performance like that in a Premier League game? It was akin to the performance especially in the first half against Newcastle in that game we played them earlier in the year. So look, it's all exciting, albeit it could go absolutely tits up tonight and be completely different. But I'm okay. Just need to get minutes in the legs. And I didn't see your intro before I played it there, but it actually made me smile looking at that number 71.
I know. I was just about to say, you hadn't seen that until you clicked go live on the thing, and I did it on purpose because myself and Paddy have this. So look, there's never going to be a Dunwart man anyway that's going to play for us, unless my young fella is taking the subliminal messaging that I'm doing at the moment. We could actually have a Dunwart, but Paddy has this long-held belief that Kennyman is going to be a big thing, just because Paddy has invested so much time for Aston Villa that Kellyman has to happen at some time, and he's going to get him on the back of his shirt, and he thinks it's going to be Kellyman 9 in a couple of years' time. And look, Paddy, that shot he took, like that was a snapshot. That was instinctual. I know Darlow saved it, came off the post, and Buendia tapped it in, but definitely one of the brighter spots of that Newcastle game. And yes, I did fall asleep for a small part, but I did. Do you know what the funny thing was? When I woke up, I saw Buendia's second goal. I saw that goal, so I must have only been asleep like for half time and like 2 minutes of the second half, so I got to see most of it. But fair play to Mr. Kennyman. Mary Kennyman. He played really, really well, and I know the team mightn't be out yet. Actually, I can't see anything here because of my setup. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him maybe start tonight or get significant minutes, because with the squad rotation that Unai, I presume, Unai is going to do, he's somebody that I think, spoiler alert, he's somebody that I'm looking forward to seeing tonight.
Yeah, well, I think anything could happen with the lineup tonight. Obviously, you've got to manage the legs. They've been doing 2 and 3 sessions for some people, while they're out there to get them up to speed. So it's going to be it will be managed. You won't see many people doing 90 minutes. Like was it Matty Cash the only one that did 90 minutes the other night, or did he come off?
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting, Paddy, because that's going to be he came off. I think I don't remember exactly if he did come off or whatever, but it's going to be interesting because who's next man up? So we might see Ezri Konsa at right back today. We might see somebody else there as well. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, or Callum Chambers, one or the other anyway. Yeah, so like he has to manage his minutes, so chances are he mightn't start today. So it should be an interesting lineup to see what he picks. I like the sprinkling of youth that was in there. I thought we were treated to some excellent performances by some really enthusiastic. Funnily enough, the quietest of all the youth was Cameron Archer. The game just kind of passed him by. But you're going to get games like that when you're playing up top.
Especially when you're a striker who's a poacher like Archer is, and the game needs to come to him at times. Specifically when he's 21 years of age and he's coming in after maybe not being with the team for a while. I'm okay with that. But like you said, Brevin, sorry, I cut you off in your stride there, Paddy. But like you said, Brevin came in. He looked great. He looked
Yeah,
fantastic. Like he looked viable. He looked like a viable. And the beautiful thing about it, Paddy, was we were playing Premier League opposition. So do you know what? When usually when you're playing a preseason game, you might be playing Trum's Godstead or someone like that, and you're going, "Oh, Severson played well," and then you think back and you're going, "Yeah, against a Swedish team who've just started or just finished their league and they're tired as hell." This is a Premier League team, fair play, but
yeah, exactly.
you know, like it's worth mentioning these young guys because they were playing against guys who were at the same level as them, fitness wise, you know, preparation wise, and like I would be surprised if all Newcastle fans weren't talking about Elliot Armstrong, you know, because he had a fantastic game against us.
You did, yeah. A bit of chat there in
I can't see
the
the chat. I'm sorry,
comments
guys.
there about Diego Carlos as well. He looked really off the pace, so it's a big preseason for him to try and get up to speed. I'm not overly worried about that. That will come. It'll take time to get him back to get a bit of faith back in those legs as well. So, not really worried about that. I was just going
Daddy,
to show you.
one thing about Diego Carlos, was it the fact that I was sweating, or was it the fact that he was sweating so much? But he looked like he was drenched by the end of the game, or was it just
He,
my remembrance
no,
of it?
he looked like prime Stilian Petrov for sure.
Absolutely
Yeah.
soaked. Now,
Now,
saying that,
bear in
he
mind
could
the
be one of the
intensity
guys.
of that game in a 30-degree heat. And you know what?
Mhm.
That's brilliant for the players. It's brilliant to play a game like that in preseason. It really does wonders for the fitness. The team is going to be announced any second now. But I don't know whether you've seen this today or not, but the footage came out from the body cam of Yuri Tielemans. Now,
Tielemans.
when I saw that on Sunday, I was going, this is a fucking jokey thing now they're at with this, and I wasn't that impressed. But it was actually lovely to watch. It was, you know, you're right in the middle of the action. It was a flat camera, so it didn't affect him taking the ball down his chest or anything like that. You got uh, a full run of what he was going through, calling for the ball, calling players by name, stuff like that. It was actually really good to watch. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to do anything like that in a Premier League game, a real Premier
No.
League game. But
Do you
for
know what it
now,
reminded me of, Paddy? Do you know what it does anybody know that guy that runs for trains, the comedian that pretends he's like a train spotter, and he runs for trains with that thing in his head, and he's got that kind of warped head when he runs, and it kind of reminded me of that. So I was watching it today, and I was going, "Is this a Villa mistake on that guy?" I love watching his stuff. I know it's completely utterly fabricated. I know it's I know it's a bit about being a train watcher and stuff like that, but I do enjoy his stuff. It's very wholesome, and I got that kind of feeling. But it's fantastic preseason footage, Paddy, because
yeah,
you know, content. Villa are there for two reasons. They're there for fitness, to play Premier League teams, number one, and second of all, to grow the club in the States. And content
yeah,
like that is worth its weight in gold because the Americans want to know what the game is like. The majority of Americans know what the game is like, but those who don't know it, and it's flush with money, obviously, so you want to tap into
yeah.
that market. But those who don't know it, that's going to be amazing, like to see what does it look like when a professional footballer. I got engrossed in it. I thought it was a bit gimmicky, but I got engrossed in it, and I said, do you know what? If I see three more of those or two more of those for the rest of this preseason, I'm all for it. Absolutely all
Yeah,
for it.
there it is. Team is out, Neil. So
Is it
I'm
brilliant?
gonna run through the starting lineup.
Is there a number 19 starting?
couple of tantrums in the meantime. There's not a number 19 starting, but there's a number
Oh,
25 in Olsen starting in goal. There's no number 2, which means Ezri Konza will go to right back. The rest of the back four is Diego Carlos, Pau Torres, and Luca Dean.
brilliant. Yeah.
Then we have what looks like, if they're in order, is Philogene Bidace, Kamara, and Tielemans in midfield, and then Buendia, McGinn, and Archer. So
It's
interest
it's it's yeah. So it's kind of a second half team with McGinn,
with
Dina,
Kamara,
and
with Dean, yeah,
Kamara.
yeah.
And you
So
guys thought I was drunk the last night when I was here. I still remember. I didn't watch the game back yet.
Yeah, I suppose the biggest news is that number 19 is on the bench, so he's named in the substitutes, Diaby, uh, as is Coutinho, who wasn't there the other night. So we've Martinez, Marshall, Cash, Mings, Luis, Watkins, Chambers, Diaby, Coutinho, Revan, Kellyman, and Young. There's
Sack
nobody
Unai.
missing.
Get him out of my club. 2 goalkeepers on the bench. Disgrace.
We're not missing anyone there, are we? We're not missing anyone, I should say.
Well, I suppose we are. We're still missing like Leon Bailey coming back from the Gold Cup, like who travelled with the squad.
Well, he's back. He's back tomorrow. He's back training tomorrow. So
he's back training tomorrow.
Yeah.
He will be playing in Ireland or DC. Baltimore, is it DC or Baltimore? DC.
Baltimore the match. Baltimore. Maryland. Yeah.
Same thing. You know, same thing. They're neighboring
really, isn't it?
Neighboring parishes.
Exactly. Some interesting sound bites today. Emery talking about the fact that Duran and indeed name escapes me. Who was the other man he said was definitely
Cameron
part of the
Archer.
Cameron Archer, yeah. I knew there was someone else, but it was the big one, I suppose, was Duran. So we know Duran is not going out on loan, according to what he said today. And look, we need players. We need to have players around the team. I suppose Duran falls into that discussion we had last week where I said we needed something different up front. He provides that something different. If you can do a bit of work with him and work on his aerial ability, that can come to fruition. So that might stop us having to spend serious money on another striker, if that's enough. Someone mentioned there Dendoncker.
Dendoncker obviously back in Birmingham. He's not going to be a part of this. Lazio and Valencia will be Dendonckers.
You know what? I like the fact that they've done that. I think that's really good. I know it's an important time of year and a very inconsiderate time to have a baby, but it's good.
Paddy, they're all inconsiderate times. I feel his pain. It's very inconsiderate.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
But can I just say a small piece there on you mentioned about Duran and you mentioned about Archer and look, we don't know what's going on there or anything like, but people were so I'm going to talk a small bit about social media here, and I'm going to say like social media was up in arms. He was going on holidays. He wasn't going on holidays, and he was going to Barcelona, and there was rumors about Espanyol and everything like that. Look, sometimes guys might come back and there's a greater plan in place for them, and this is where we're working at with Aston Villa. We spent £18 million on a player. Yes, Aston. I did a podcast today with Steve from Villa Analytics. It'll be out tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock about Mark Pudel, the right back, and we spoke a small bit about project players and players who'll be here for they're going to be brought into the squad alongside the Potaras, the Tielemans, and the Diabys, but they're going to be players that we brought in here for maybe a year or 2 years time. That's the way that's the way Unai Emery might work. Or does work. We've seen it with Arsenal. Like some of the players that Unai Emery brought into Arsenal have now come good, or some of the younger players he promoted have now come good under Arteta. So he knows and he understands what needs to be done there. And I think sometimes with a John Duran, just letting him get away. He's 18 years of age. He's on a meteoric rise. He came from the MLS. Yes, he had half a season with Aston Villa. He tipped and poked. He came on. He threw his weight around the place, but he was as raw as a badger's arse, really, to be honest with yourself, and letting him maybe get away and maybe work with a personal trainer for a while. Not to say that he came back unfit or anything like that, but maybe he's working with a specific ball coach or something like that, and he's going to come back and be integrated in with the squad. And
he did have an injury. He did have an injury though as well. Yeah, so we can't read too much into what's going on. It's just the fact that he decided. His fault, I suppose, going live in Barcelona and stuff like that on his socials was a bit mad, and
the frivolity of youth, Paddy.
I know, but that makes people put 2 and 2 together and get 17.
I know, and the reason to cut across you, Paddy. I apologize about that. I'm trying my best. It's my 2023. New Year's resolution, new season resolution was that like sometimes we can jump to conclusions over social media, and social media is about as real as a cartoon. It's there's elements of reality. It's based on reality, and most of it is like we don't know the context of it, and we will know the context. And it was great for Rowan and I to come out and talk about it today because it's put a
Of
lot of
course.
rumours to rest. And look, he may still be loaned out yet. Let's just say the right striker comes up for Aston Villa at the side. Let's just say
Exactly.
Dusan Vlahovic
Yeah.
comes up, and Villa have that 70 million earmark for him, and they can
Yeah.
actually sign him. No, there'll be a lot of conversations going on there. But if they don't sign him, they're going to bring John Duran back, and he's going to infiltrate into the squad, and he's going to be the player,
100%.
hopefully the player that
Yeah.
we all want, because
Yeah.
people are on the same wavelength here.
Yeah. Neil Ulton said, "Fair play to you for doing the podcast after being captured by the Taliban."
Blink
And
twice. Yeah. If you hear
Dave
helicopters,
said,
or
Neil giving us subtle clues to his location in the hope of being rescued.
yeah, that's the exit. I'm safe. For all of you who are worried, I'm very safe. I'm being treated very well, and the food is fantastic here in Guantanamo. I couldn't ask for any more, to be honest with you.
What are the points like?
I can't put a point up on camera, and not after last Sunday. Last Sunday was an experience. I was nearly arrested, accosted, and nearly missed my bus. All in that 20. You guys only saw a fraction of what happened on the mean streets of Dublin during that podcast, and I did well to not introduce you to a couple of characters. they could have gotten us taken off YouTube. Put it that way. But it was great crack.
Stuff. Yeah, so we can confirm that you're okay and you're fed and watered and there's nothing to worry about with you tonight.
I am.
And you have been home in the meantime.
They allow me to write to my parents, not phone them, but they allow me to write to my parents. So that's okay. They know that I'm okay. Paddy, will you confirm the team with me again? You mentioned who are the top three again? It was Buendia,
McGinn, and Archer.
Oh, McGinn and Archer. So McGinn is that far forward. Okay,
now,
so he's probably going to really be playing that right.
I'm only reading it as the team is printed here, which has Philogene, Kamara, and Tielemans in midfield with Buendia, Archer, and McGinn up top. That's what it's saying.
What's this? There's a snail. There's a snail after coming on the camera there. You know, watch it. Look at that. It's lashing. It was lashing rain here all day. I didn't even see the snail. Hello, snail. How are you? It's great crack. Things you never see on other podcasts. Snails. But yeah, there's snails here in where I'm being kept in my compound as well, so that's fine.
I'm just trying to bring up the Fulham team here so we can have a look at it.
Do please, yeah. Just while you're doing that, I want to make a small little bit of a comment on the back four. We're getting to see Ezri Konsa by their right back. I know a lot of people have talked about this. As I say, myself and Steve from VILL Analytics have got a piece out on Mark Pubble. I don't know how to pronounce his surname. I should really put it into the surname generator, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Really interesting conversation. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know a whole pile about him. I started studying him in parts today. Steve had a head start on me, and he gave some really good insight. It's going to be out tomorrow at 9:00, and we've about 20 minutes conversation on him. And it's look. I thought it was a really interesting conversation as well because look, Steve VILL Analytics. He is an actual he does some scouting work himself. I haven't spoken to him in the podcast in a while, but we keep in contact quite a bit. You guys will know him from the Spaces with Ty Bracey, and I hope you guys check that out as well tomorrow. And also, we have a Moussa Diaby shirt up for grabs. All you gotta do is share, retweet, and follow the podcast Twitter account, and you guys could be in with a chance to win a Moussa Diaby 19 shirt. I didn't even know the number before it was released today, but yeah, we're looking forward to that.
And while you're at it, with over 300 people on the podcast here at the moment live, just hit the like button while you're there.
Yeah,
do us all
that'd be nice. Yeah, we've had an influx of likes actually in the last couple of days since I had Dougie Critchley. If you guys didn't see that, Dougie Critchley. Do you know what? Last time I said this about someone who came on the podcast was Graham Hunter, but a genuinely thoroughly nice man, Dougie. He did a podcast as well tonight with Frankie from All Vill and No Filler. Check that out as well. Dougie's a legend. He's a really nice guy from Football Daily, and I was just delighted to chat to him because I have been speaking to him on different tracks over the last couple of weeks, And he gave a really glowing endorsement of Musa Diaby as well. Yeah, keep a roof over my head.
I'll just run through the Fulham team for you here, Neil.
Do.
So it's Leno in goal.
John
Tete.
Leno.
I'm going to murder this one now. The Figueroles.
Don't know.
Diop.
Yeah, Issa.
Mbappé.
Kevin Mbappé, yeah.
Reed.
Harrison Reed. Is this a
Lukic.
quiz? Yeah, Mr. Lukic.
Our
Joe
old favourite
Bernardi.
man that did us a good favour in not letting us be promoted a few years ago, Carney.
Tom Carney.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Tom Carney, Villa legend.
Wilson,
Harry
Vinicius,
Wilson, yeah.
and D. Cordoba Reed is in the
Great.
starting lineup. A couple of strange names on the bench. Someone called McCoy Splat.
McCoy Splat.
And
That
Dibley
sounds like
Dias.
something that would happen. McCoy Splat sounds like something that Alan Brazil and Ali McCoist would do after their TalkSport show on any given morning when they go for a few pints. What you say? The other one was Dibley what? Vicar Dibley?
Dibley Dias.
Dibley Dias. Isn't that brilliant? If I was making an alco pop in the morning, I'd call it Dibley Dias.
Anyway, I hope they don't come back to bite us for slagging their names later on in the day.
Well, we're not.
Yeah. So they have Willian, Harris, Godo, Stansfield, Oduteo, Amasaya, Park, Rodak, Borto.
The goalkeeper, yeah.
And then the aforementioned McCoy Splat and Dibley Dias.
Excellent. Look, I think, Paddy, to be honest with you,
someone missing there. Who's the goalkeeper that's missing there?
Roddick is the goalkeeper.
Is he first choice usually?
He was first choice when they were in the championship, anyway.
Okay. So
and when they first got promoted.
Oh, it was Leno last year. Sorry, Leno did play last year.
Yeah. Roddick was the first choice goalkeeper. But
I really need to make a conscious effort of getting to know these opposition players in the Premier League. I know it's early and there's a lot of players coming and going, but that's my job for this season.
You don't have sleepless nights at the moment. You don't have 202, so you're to be forgiven for that. You don't have mindless scrolling through the internet at the minute. But
I do.
But I can't stay on for much longer because I've about 6% battery on my phone for whatever reason. It was 40 when I came out, so it seems like I need a battery replacement.
The snail is draining your battery.
Snail is draining my battery, the fucker. Yeah, he's actually flying it. You should see how fast he's crawling now after he got onto the charger of my battery.
You'll be drinking your pint next.
I've no pint, Paddy. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. I suppose the biggest thing that you can see from tonight is minutes, and usually we're talking about individual pieces of brilliance. I started off talking about like the Walsall game. Started off talking about individual pieces of brilliance, but we shot out to Philadelphia, and Paddy, as I've said to people before, we should have been in Philadelphia, and it just didn't transpire that we were there. And I missed seeing beautiful people like Mr. Jerobi. Joe Topsy was out there. He messaged me today saying there's loads of people that were there, and that they were all talking, and they watched the podcast, and he said he was Irish, and they started talking about us. And like that's amazing. I know Philadelphia has a big hotbed of Irish people as well, but it would have been lovely to be out there. But the big thing that I take from that is that the standard of play, the straight, like I mentioned it on I didn't word it very well because it sounded very sexual the way that I said it, and I didn't mean to. But Villa were playing passes forward, a straight pass forward to the right man at the right time with beautiful runs. And I would love to see that again tonight because it's exciting, because that's the way that no matter whether it's a low block, whether it's a high block, no matter whether they're playing man marking, if you play a ball into space and a man makes a diagonal run like Buendia was to get onto that ball, it really puts a back four on their back on their hooves going backwards. And you could see that there was a time, I think it was for Watkins' goal, where Buendia got the ball and the centre half just froze. He hadn't a clue what to do, and Buendia actually miscontrolled it, but he had space because the ball was a straight ball to him, and he controlled it. And the centre half was like, "Shit, my midfielder out of position, and I can't go to him. I got to hold my position here." those little in between the lines kind of passes are very foreign to Aston Villa. And if we can find a way to make that stick and not just be a preseason folly, that's a really, really interesting thing, because not a lot of teams in the Premier League do that. They go wide, they play diagonally. Liverpool even do it as well. Man City do it. Man City have the slow build up. But if you can find a way to have a fast build up with a straight pass, it's like like sometimes when you play a raking ball that's diagonal, defenders can see it. When you play a raking ball that's straight, defenders get petrified, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go,
100%.
Paddy. I'm so sorry because my battery is
No
now at
problem.
2%.
We're all ready to go. Gaz, we leave it on this. Gaz says he can't wait for Sunday to see where Neil is this week.
I will be at home on Sunday. That is a fact. Guys, I really got to leave here. I'm now down to 1%. Up the Villa, and I hope they win tonight. See
Have
you
a good
guys
one.
later.
Right, guys, we're going to wrap it up with that. I hope you all are feeling not so tired and are able to hang on to the game. The game ends tonight. Enjoy it. Fortunately, it's a Wednesday night, and we've all got to go. Well, most of us got to go to school tomorrow, so enjoy the game. Hopefully, we get a similar performance to the other night. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.